Oh, welcome everybody. Thank you all for attending our first virtual graduate and professional expo. My name is Julia. I am the community-based research assistant in Careerspace at Trent University. Careerspace provides an authentic outlook on the career landscape by providing Trent students and alumni with meaningful experiences, necessary perspectives, and valuable resources. We offer virtual appointments, workshops, online resources, and opportunities to connect with employers and recruiters. These services are free for all Trent students and alumni. You can visit our website at trentu.ca/careerspace to book an appointment or learn more about our services. We are thrilled to have a representative from McMaster University Social Work with us here today. Before we go ahead and get started, I do have some housekeeping items to mention. I would ask you now, Sarah, to go ahead and put your contact information in the chat box. We should have 10 to 15 minutes for questions after the presentation today. Please feel free to ask your questions at any time using the Q&A function located at the bottom of your screen. Today's presentation will be posted to our Careerspace YouTube channel. And without further ado, I'd like to welcome our guest from McMaster University Social Work and ask that you introduce yourself, and the floor is yours.
Great. Well, hello everyone. Excited to be able to share a little bit about our graduate program with you today. I am the current, again, my name is Sarah Green. I'm a professor in the School of Social Work at McMaster, and I'm the current chair of our graduate program. So myself and people who work in that office can actually answer any questions that you have about the various programs that we offer at the graduate level. I'm just going to share my screen so that I can go through a PowerPoint with you. And can you see it when I move it? Oh, okay, awesome. All right. So I guess my job here is to tell you how fantastic we are. And of course, we are a wonderful community of instructors and students and staff. We have various programs that we offer at the graduate level. All of our programs are grounded in a social justice focus, both theoretically and in terms of thinking about policy, research, community activism, community development, and really we approach any questions that people have around their research and practice to be thinking about how this links to and results in social justice objectives. So the first program I'll talk about is our Masters of Social Work Critical Analysis program. You must have a BSW to apply to this program. It is 1 year. And along with this program, it's actually not a program where you do a placement. It is a thesis-based or research-based master's degree. And most students who apply and are accepted into the program have an opportunity for a teaching assistantship and really focus on developing their knowledge and skills around critical analysis of social work, as well as including practice and research and policy. Our classes are seminar style, about 15 to 18 students. So through this program, there's a focus of analysis on social problems at the macro, meso, and micro level, and a real strong support to students to think about how they can critique existing practices and policies. And when we say critique, we don't mean just criticize, but actually think deeply about the ways in which we practice, the policies that guide our practice, how they've been developed, how they are rooted, and what is our focus on executing those practices and policies. Most of this is established through coursework, but there is an actual focus on a research thesis. During this program, you develop a relationship with many different instructors, but you will seek to find one particular instructor who can support you in delving more deeply into a particular research question that you might have. We also have an MSW in Critical Leadership. This is also a 1 year post-BSW program. There is a different focus of this program as it's not research oriented, although students do a smaller research project as well as a practicum. And the practicum focuses on taking on a leadership role in an organization. So most people in this program have substantial volunteer and paid work experiences in the social services. And the purpose of this 1 year program is actually to develop critical leaders who are going to be continuing to practice in the field. As with the MSW Critical Analysis program, there's still plenty of opportunity to develop conceptual and theoretical and analytical skills in relation to social work practices and policies. But there's also a focus on thinking about the conditions where social services and social work with communities is played out. There's an emphasis on thinking about the complexities and possibilities of ethical leadership and how you can apply those skills in doing leadership practice. The courses that you take, there's a couple courses that you would take that would be the same as in the critical analysis program, such as the practice frameworks and the policy frameworks. But then there's a couple of courses that are quite different, and again, they focus on actual changing social services and thinking about a focus on leadership in social services, as well as a course on organizational and social change. In both the MSW Critical Analysis and the MSW Critical Leadership, there are also electives available, and those electives are also available in the School of Social Work, but students are also able to take electives beyond the School of Social Work. So if you want to take something in African Studies or through Indigenous Studies, there's many different places that you can look. I see somebody's asking me a question. Can I answer live? I don't know what that means. Okay. What is the relative importance of admission, test scores, undergraduate grades, recommendations, admissions, essays, experience, and other requirements? Okay, so for the MSW Critical Analysis, I think an A- is necessary to get into that program, and that would be an overall GPA of an A- in your BSW program. So yes, we would be looking at your undergraduate grades, there's no essay. There's just a blurb about your research that you'd be interested in. And we do look, of course, at your experience. For the critical leadership program, we look more at the actual experience, work and volunteer experience of students coming in, as well as the grades. Again, because we anticipate and expect and develop this program, recognizing that there were folks out there who were quite experienced and who actually wanted to take a leadership role in either the organizations that they're currently working in, or to be able to make a move through which they would take on a leadership role in another organization. And that actually gets supported through the practicum and the practicum seminar through the MSW Critical Leadership Program. And so oftentimes we're asking students to come in with relationships with folks that they might consider wanting to have as a mentor, but we also offer suggestions for mentorship opportunities in leadership. And then there is a seminar that accompanies that. So as you can see, you must have an overall B+ standing in your senior level social work courses only. So if you have a course that's not a social work course and you've maybe got a B-, then that's okay. It's specifically important that we're looking at your social work grades. The applicant procedures are all online. You need 3 letters of reference, you need an official transcript, a resume, and a supplementary statement. For this year, both MSW application deadlines are December 15th. We also have 2 diploma programs. So for people who don't have an MSW but would be interested in the critical leadership program, we offer a diploma, and it's designed for people who have an MSW or who have an MA. So, you know, either groups of people, but the nice thing about this is that you don't actually have to have an MSW to apply to this program. You could have a master's in political studies, for example. But the key piece is around having experience as a leader in your community or in a social service setting. The students in that program join the students who are in the critical leadership MSW program in both of the critical leadership core courses. So you again see that there's that changing social services course and the organizational short course. There's a course on critical approaches to evidence and evaluation, and then you have the choice between an elective in organizational or community practice. And again, you need to have an MSW or an MA with a minimum average of an A- for that program. And the application procedures are the same, but we do have a rolling admission until June 30th for this program. We also have a second diploma program in community engaged research and evaluation. Just going to check the questions. And the question is, how closely do students work with faculty? Is it common for students and faculty to publish together? So it depends on the faculty, and it depends on the student. I could perhaps talk a little bit about myself and say I often ask students that I'm supervising if they have the abilities and the interest to work with me on my various research projects, and other faculty do the same. Positions are offered to master students and PhD students, and of course, if I have students working with me on research, I actually mentor them to publish as well with me. And I know other faculty are committed to that capacity building and career building as well in our program. Again, a lot of that is for master's students who are doing research and PhD students. And I'll talk a little bit more about our PhD program as well. And another question is there a preference for professional versus academic references? A combination. I think it's nice to make sure that you've got, of your 3 references, at least 1 academic. For sure. For the MSW Critical Leadership, I think 1 academic and 2 professional would be excellent. For the MSW Critical Analysis, definitely you want strong academic references, as well as maybe go 2 and 1 for that program. But again, it's completely up to you. I would always make sure you have at least 1 of each. The community education, community evaluation and research program, actually one that I teach in. I teach critical approaches to community-based research. It's an emphasis on really thinking about the work that you're already doing with a community-based organization, either one that you're working in, or one that you're volunteering in, or one that you're connected to. And the culmination of this diploma is actually doing a piece of research or an evaluation of an existing program that supports this organization. So research experience and seminar are a key part of the program, as well as the 2 courses that you see here. So as you can see, all applicants to the CERE graduate diploma must have experience working in social services or a community-based organization. In many different configurations. We're very open, actually, and completed undergraduate degree. So it doesn't actually have to be a BSW. It could be a BSW, but it could be a BA or a BSc. And again, the minimum average for this diploma is a B+. And here are the admission requirements, the application, the statement of interest, your resume, referees, and transcripts. And this program also has a rolling admission until December 7th. This diploma starts in January, whereas all of the other programs start in September. But we take applications right until December 7th. And these are just some of the things that students do upon graduation. Many of them are already practicing, but they go on to practice and take on leadership roles, do policy work, advocacy. They're already supervisors, or they become supervisors, do case management. Some students really love research, and they go on to do more research, or decide to apply for a doctoral degree. And I'm going to go over, I'm going to leave time for these questions later. But we do have a number of different entrance scholarships. The Ontario Graduate Student Scholarship. We have something called the Harry Lyman. Students can apply for the CGSM, the SSHRC CGSM Masters fellowship as well. And finally, we offer a PhD in social work and social justice. Applicants to our PhD are usually required to have an MSW with at least an A-. However, we do have many PhD students in our program that do not have a social work background. They come with other social science or health science or humanities background, but when they don't have an MSW, they also demonstrate quite a long history of working in social work or social justice field, community development, community activism, and that sort of is what bolsters them. And it's really just about demonstrating, if you don't have a social work background, why would you want to be doing a PhD in social work and social justice? And for most folks who are making this decision, it's because they've been working around social justice issues for many years. Someone's asking a question I was wondering about research opportunities. Do your grad students publish? And as I said earlier, research opportunities generally come through opportunities that faculty offer. And so many of us have programs of research through which we hire both master's and PhD level students. And so there's opportunities to make money as research assistants or research coordinators, and of course opportunities to publish through being a member of the research team. So back to the PhD in social work and social justice program. As I said, you could have any MSW or not. If you're applying without an MSW, it's basically you need to demonstrate your interest and experience in critical approaches to policy, practice, and knowledge building in social work and social justice. In order to apply for this program, you require 2 official transcripts, a CV, a statement of interest, of course, references, and the deadline to apply for our PhD program is this coming January 15th. Yeah. If you are already publishing or doing research, really emphasizing that work is quite important as well. So here's just the program at a glance. I'll give you a second to take a look at that, but you can see there in the Critical Analysis Masters, we have 4 half and 1 full course, and then there's the thesis. We have a full-time and a part-time option for the MSW Critical Analysis. In the MSW Critical Leadership, we have 6 half courses, and there's a practicum and a practicum seminar. People can also do that full-time and part-time. We have the Graduate Diploma in Critical Leadership, which is 4 half courses and can also be done full-time and part-time. And then the Graduate Diploma, which is 2 half and 1 full courses. There's a research experience and a seminar, and it starts in January. The PhD is currently only a full-time program. We only accept students who are coming into the program full-time. And through that program, there are 6 half courses. And similarly to other PhD programs, there is a comprehensive exam, the developing of your research proposal, and then, of course, the dissertation. At McMaster, in the PhD, you can actually do an additional program on feminist and gender and feminist research, which adds on another couple of courses. But many of our students who do very critical sort of social work practice and theory, and are really thinking about issues related to gender, whether it's specifically feminist or more gender-based, then there's an excitement and an interest in that program alongside the PhD. And what you end up having at the end of that is a PhD and the diploma. But it does take about a year longer. And that is all for that presentation. I think I've answered all the questions in the Q&A.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sarah. That was fantastic. And thanks for taking those questions kind of intermittently. We now do have about a couple minutes. We've got a couple minutes for questions, and then at 2:30 there's another session. So I am happy to take maybe one or two more questions if anyone has them, and if not, I can pose just a couple of really brief ones, and then I'll wrap up. But again, yeah, thank you very much for that.
Welcome.
Why don't I just pull, we've got a good list of stuff, and I'm just trying to find one that you haven't already covered. Do most students live near campus, and what's it like to live in Hamilton as a graduate student?
Well, obviously, in this current moment, students are living wherever they're living. But I would say yes, in the master's program, because it's full time, many students are living in Hamilton, but we have a lot of students who don't live in Hamilton and live in surrounding areas. So, and that would include like St. Catharines, all the way from St. Catharines up to Toronto. So a lot of students actually commute from Mississauga, Brampton, and then other students, choose to live in Hamilton. I understand from students that Hamilton, I live in Toronto actually, but Hamilton's a great city, and if you like the arts, they have a huge art scene with art crawl every year, and lots going on campus, lots going on around campus. Lots of music venues, lots of great places to eat. It's a cool town for sure.
That's great. Thank you so much. Are there mentoring and advising relationships kind of established? How close do students work with faculty?
Yeah, for sure. So when students enter the MSW Critical Analysis program, which is our research-based master's, we create a number of opportunities for students to meet with faculty and to learn about faculty's research interests, and then create opportunities for them to meet with different faculty so that they can decide who they would like to be their thesis supervisor. And then at some point you have a second reader, somebody who you can go and talk to about your research questions, and who actually also reads your thesis at the end of the day. And often in those relationships, students, particularly when there's like a very closely related research interests, there are often opportunities for students to get engaged in the research of the professor who's supervising them, and other professors that they're not, working that closely with, but maybe, they've applied for a job and, to get that position, or they know another professor from a course. Because the classes are small, like maximum 18, you really do get to know the professors very well.
So I am running out of time, so I will wrap up. Thank you so much, Sarah, for presenting. Sarah, sorry. Thank you so much, Sarah, for presenting today. And to our students in attendance, thank you for taking the time to learn about opportunities with McMaster University. So for students, we invite you to attend our Trent-specific Graduate and Professional School Expo, which is being held November 13th from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. To register, you can visit trentu.ca/SEP and click on the November 13th hold the date. And as well, Careerspace, in partnership with Academic Skills, is presenting a virtual personal statement workshop on Tuesday, November 10th from 1 to 2 p.m. It'll be posted on the Student Experience Portal's events calendar. You'll be able to register for the event from there. Most grad school applications do require a personal statement or a letter of intent. And with the knowledge you gain from this workshop, you'll be able to create these documents and submit the best application that you can. And with that, thank you so much again for your wonderful and insightful presentation. And thanks everybody for attending, and have a wonderful weekend.
Bye.